tank is already out. Oh, the Zerg player is not going to be able to get away with it. All lapped on. That Mothership Core's ability looks like, oh, he entombed all of the mineral fields. That is one of the big... He's abducting pulling tanks away from the front line. There we go. Charge underneath the ground. Allowing them to get forward. And you see he's got those laying there as well. Just trying to throw the siege tanks. Try to what they siege mode on your tanks. So now we can actually see the Reaper. Oh, it's looking like he's trying to bait out the Queens. The Queens are getting just a little too close. And now, once again, we have the Hydras again going to finish off the Nexus as we see a range upgrade. It is firing from so far away. His saving grace as he gets into any of these engagements. Gets off a nice shot. Will he blink? Yes, he does. He manages to pick off those Vikings.
Hello everyone, and here we are for Gfinity's Elite Division Starcraft 2 tournament with number 2. And I am Pee-wee, joined by Tetra. How are you doing?
I am doing brilliant. It's nice to be here. It's the first time I've seen the studio, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Definitely, and it's a lot of fun. Of course, the game was already pretty much ready to go, so I'm just going to make sure the players are ready. And we'll actually jump into this straight away. And we don't have the first game set up for tonight, which was going to be Patience v4GG. We don't know exactly where Patience has gone, but we will sort that out hopefully today. If not, we will bring the game later on. And of course, we're going to be jumping into straight away with MMA v Scarlett, and that's actually going to be a really good game.
Indeed, I'm so excited about this. It is obviously going to be a team kill. Countdown has begun, so we are going to be jumping straight into match number 1, and it will be on Habitation Station.
Absolutely. So here it goes. Now, it is a team kill, like you said. It is, of course, it's a round robin style, guys. So it's not actually a team kill. Like, neither of these players are going home from the tournament today. Of course, it makes it harder for them to get into that top spot. Of course, it's it's a round robin style where they all play each other. It's $2,000 first, $750 second, and then $250 third. So quite a chunk of money to actually win for 5 games, pretty much best of 3s.
Indeed, and like you said, it's definitely going to be harder for them to get into the top scores here, because these two, as we've said before, on the same team, it's going to be a lot more difficult because these two will have been practicing together all the time.
Absolutely. So here we are jumping into the game, and we did actually have game out up and running, so that's a nice little start here. And would you like to do the introductions there?
I would love to do the introductions. So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Habitation Station, playing as the Blue Terran for Team Acer, we have MMA. And spawning in the top right-hand corner as the Pink Zerg, also playing for Team Acer, we have Scarlett.
Yeah. Now, the map is Habitation Station LE, Ladder Edition, of course, which is, of course, a 2-player map, which is the bigger factor that you have to look at when you're looking at the maps themselves. Of course, whenever you have a new map, this is an early SCV.
This is a very early SCV. There is only one spawn location here, so MMA is going to know where Scarlett's spawning. If he wants to try any kind of sneaky shenanigans, will easily avoid the Overlord here, and gets the tower so he can see any kind of really early scout out of Scarlett.
And the supplies are quite low, so it looks like it's just going to be a single proxy Rax, which is going to be a Reaper. You never single proxy Rax, just Marines or something like that. Yeah. That'd be manic. Of course, that could be a new meta game that we do see. And there was no second SCV, so that's how we know there is no second Rax getting dropped down. But he is going for a proxy, and of course, as we can see, it's very close towards the natural of Scarlett, and it looks like she will be going for that hatchery first, which she should do in this matchup.
Indeed, Reaper definitely going to be able to get a lot of harass down, and with the hatchery going down, not going to have Zerglings out in time to defend it, so it's just going to have to micro her drones around in order to keep them alive from the Reaper.
Absolutely, and oh man, I thought that Overlord was maybe going to scout in that direction. She is anticipating something like this, but she's not scouting as far as where the Rax actually is. Here comes the SCV to actually scout, and I like that the fact that he hasn't, if you look at the timing of the barracks, he could have sent that for the scout, and didn't even have a good timing, but he sent it out just to make sure that Scarlett doesn't pick up on any missed timings or something like that. And here comes the first bunker.
Indeed, second SCV will be coming down in order to hold off any kind of drone pull and to help build this bunker when he inevitably has to start microing his SCV when Scarlett does start reacting. And the first Reaper is about halfway done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the bunker placement is really funky. it's obviously between the ramp and the natural, and obviously he can't block off the wall, the ramp completely. So, and even the high ground vision is gonna be able to allow a queen to maybe do some damage from the high ground. But
actually, I think this is out of range of a queen, other than actually getting onto the ramp itself. As far as I can see, that may be out of range of a queen.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how close this is. He's obviously gonna have it practiced, but here it comes. The Reaper's gonna maybe try and get some kills. Should only maybe get one or two. Oh, nice.
Oh, that was an amazing save there by Scarlett. This Reaper gonna have to start microing now. Oh my god.
The sport.
Second save there, and here come the Zerglings. This Reaper needs to get out. Almost dead already, but does make it to the bunker. Gonna have to try and micro around, but there's no high ground vision, so needs to be incredibly careful. But incredible builds and cancels there by Scarlett to keep that alive.
Oh, there's a Marine.
Almost a very nice catch, but now there are 2 units in this bunker. Zerglings already have surrounded it, but there is repair going down. This will survive quite a while. SCV is down. But these units could... They won't be able to kill off the Zerglings, but they may... The Reaper is definitely going to make it out alive. The Queen is now up, and the Marines also going to escape. There are now 2 bunkers here. We missed them being built. But this has turned into a bit of a later 2 racks, but that Reaper easily able to delay Scarlett long enough to start producing those units.
Absolutely. Now, we completely missed the second barracks being made. He has stopped mining gas, so there's no more extra Reapers and stuff like that. He's not going to go up to reactor factories or something like that. And we do have a command center from MMA, so he is going to macro up behind this, realizing, of course, he's limited on the amount of damage he can do now.
Indeed. There are now 2 queens up for Scarlett, so as you said, damage has been very much reduced. She's going to be able to hold off pretty much any attack. There are 5 Marines coming with this Reaper, but Scarlett realizes that there might still be some stuff around and has thrown down a spine crawler and has plenty of Zerglings in order to hold this off.
Absolutely. Now there's the factory, so he has started mining that gas again. I would love to see a Baneland nest from Scarlett. I don't think she's going to go for it. Of course, that is going to be the most cost-efficient way to deal with these Marines in one full swoop, and their counterattack could actually do some serious damage. Whereas with the spine crawler, MMA doesn't have to commit. He can run up the ramp, see it, pull back, and he can still kind of soft container to an extent, which he has to get enough units to break out.
Indeed. There is also the option, however, of Scarlett throwing down the defensive structures and hoping that the Queen's Spy Crawler will be enough to hold it off while sending the Zerglings straight to MMA's base. But there's so many Marines here, almost catching out a Queen. Nice transfuse there to keep that Queen alive, but there is a lot of Marines here now.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's what I want about is, he's getting to that critical mass. Now, what was that, about 8? No, about 11?
Yeah, there are 11 Marines on the map.
Yeah, spot on 11. And, that is a scary amount. Now, the barracks have lifted off and floated back home, so of course there are no more in production for the time being. And is that no, it's a starport. Okay, so we have a starport of reactor factory.
So we will be seeing that swapped over for the medevacs. So MMA definitely going to be going into bio, and we'll I can see him moving into possibly just a medevac timing once he has finished this push. If he can keep some of his Marines alive, he can easily go for a drop harass.
Yeah, definitely. And where's that? Okay, we have a 3rd command center, so he's going to try and play it out as quite a standard game now, which is going to lead to some funky timings. Both, this is a non-standard game, so every type of timing that we're used to in a standard TVZ doesn't exist anymore. And, they've been thrown off. There's the Baneland nest that we wanted to see. We do have a double Evo as well, so she's going to go for those upgrades. Of course, we need to see what upgrade comes out of those Evos, like the melee, of course, the missile, but there's the melee. So I'm going to assume Limberlin Muta to an extent.
I would agree. If not, it's going to be some kind of Baning bust, because she is now on 2 base compared to what will soon be a Terran 3 base. So Zerg, as most people do know, does have to stay a base ahead. So she needs to get some kind of damage done in order to stay in this game. Yeah,
absolutely. Now there's the double E base, so MMA's going to carry on staying even near enough with the upgrades, and we do have a reactor straight away, and there's a tanks in production. So MMA's he's got this build quite well calculated, as we can see here. And he is going up for a very defensive, turtly type of style, it looks like. It depends on how many tanks he does add on.
Indeed, it all depends on the tank. So he can do that, though, because it's going to take Scarlett a lot longer time to build up this army with the economy that she does have. So it's going to be... The tanks pretty much counter any kind of counterattack she can bring in until Mutalisks are on the field. And Hive is not yet... Sorry, Lair is not yet finished, so Mutas won't be for a while.
Absolutely. And I love the way that MMA is clearing out all the overloads between the 2 main bases. This is going to make drops a lot more, scary, pretty much, because she's not going to know that they're coming. And, of course, if he gets the drops out, then could do some serious damage. Now, we do have overload speed as well, so, they can get into position a lot faster. There's an overseer as well, in case there are going to be some widow mines. And as you said, as the left finishes up, we do have the spy out being added on with the Baneland speed.
Indeed, but it will likely be that there's going to be some harassment out of MMA before this Spire can finish up, whether it is a just small engagement with the Marines, or actually no, he may just continue to turtle up. He has a tank on the high ground and is taking his next base. He should know that there are mutas coming up now.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you've said, they are teammates, so he's gonna know her style pretty well, what she likes to do off the base of this. I wonder if he's done this strategy against her before, that like this opening, because of course there's so many mind games and there's extra mind games when it comes to teammates.
Indeed, teammates always throw in
Yes.
little bits of extra stuff just to make it more interesting, because you have to catch them off. They know you better than you'll probably know your own style, because they will have studied you. Players don't study themselves.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So 1-1 does finish up for the Zerg. She hasn't started her. Okay, there we are. We do have the +2 Carapace, and this pack of Marines is gonna catch a couple of Zerglings, which nice little free win there.
Oh,
No
not
Marine
a
death.
single Marine died. That was very nice there. Are there medevacs on the field? Yes, there are. There are 2 medevacs on the field, so those Marines will be returning to full health for their next engagement.
Yeah, the turrets are starting to be added on, so MMA's not faltering here with his timings. He's not, obviously not building them too early or not building them when the mutas have already attacked. +1 flyer attack coming out, so the mutas, in a little bit will have a little bit of extra damage to them. But of course, this attack is coming out, and MMA's a little bit down in supply, but he does have a bigger army advantage. So this is actually going to be quite interesting.
Indeed, so many creep tumors are dying right now. This is going to seriously deny Scarlett's vision, and she's not going to know where this engagement is coming. She's tried to throw down a 4th base, but only 2 mutas currently able to engage here. There is a fairly large amount of banelings, but they're not going to get even close with this amount of tanks. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, 19 banelings, 3 tanks. With good positioning on the tanks and target firing, he can do this. Of course, the positioning he's in means that a good concave could really do some damage here. As we can see, there's about 3 attack paths into that choke.
Indeed, once again killing off some more creep tumors to try and get the good angle. And Scarlett is preparing her army. Her 4th base is going to get up. MMA not going to head down there to try and deal with that. It's simply just going to retreat now. He's made Scarlett a bit paranoid, so just going to move back and make sure that he is secure and wait for reinforcements.
I love how he's obviously clearing up the creep, which is something Scarlett's so known for because she's so good at it. Like I've seen her have creep all the way across the map on whirlwinds by like 20 minutes. The overseer is going to get picked off, and
no, does make it to the high ground, denying the vision, and the one Zergling going in, not able to deal with it. That one Viking, still active on the map, just being as annoying as possible.
Oh yes, and he does spot the 4th base, so this is gonna force MMA to kind of unsiege her. As we can see here, he pulls back, probably gonna grab another pack of units with the extra tank, and of course he's gonna try and go for that 4th base, I'd imagine. Ooh, he just stemmed a couple of units there.
Indeed, he's also bringing out the 4, so getting ready to deal with these mutas. We could be seeing a very large engagement soon, though, as the Zergling's gonna be dancing around, but they need the muta reinforcement. Mutas are coming down, so we could be seeing it. Marines will see it with the help of the Zelnaga Watchtower. And the Changeling army begins the advance. But
she's going to do Stefano where she blocks the ramp and stops the Marines running down and stuff.
Yes.
But this 4th base, it's uncontested thus far. She's not really mining from it, but there we can see the gases being added on now. So she is going to saturate them and, of course, get that gas income, which allows her to build that many more mirrors.
Indeed, Marines pushing forward right now. Need to get out of there. The entire Zergling army does push forward. The 4 has arrived. 4 is here. But Marines just dancing around at the moment, not wanting to engage. Tanks aren't really in range to take pot shots at these units yet, but if the Marines can draw them in, then there will be the time. Pulling back, and the tanks are now in range to get the first shot off. Not many Marines did die there, but there's still not that many medevacs on the field.
But that was sick reactions as well from Scarlett there. She... it was like one pot shot at the Zerglings from the tanks, then she pulled back, not overcommitting, losing like a chunk of banelings to the tank fire. And the mirrors, they haven't really done much, but they are still here.
Here we go, catching the tanks unsieged. Banelings heading straight for the main army now. MMA pulling backwards. The tanks are all going down, getting some nice shots off, but the Mutalisks are pretty much uncontested now. Marines all going down, and oh my god, that was decimation right now, being pushed all the way back to his 3rd base. 4th base is going up, but so much damage is being done right now. The Mutalists, once again, reigning supreme. Tank on the high ground is down at GG.
And that turned pretty fast there.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. I was not expecting... MMA was, in my opinion, in a very, very good position. Yeah, well, that's one of the things, of course, with Banelands. One little tiny mistake, you're not sieged up. You run into a choke, your tanks, siege up and stuff like that. They can force a choke, and then the Banelands come crashing in, and no more Marines, and of course the mutas rule the skies.
The timing is everything in that kind of situation. You have to wait for the tanks to be unsieged, and Scarlett timed that perfectly. Not a single tank was sieged, and she was already at the tank line. That was amazing.
That was, and she done enough then to go for the win. She, it wasn't one of those things she didn't go, I've had a nice trade, I'm gonna pull back, macro up some more. She had the game knowledge, and she knew that she was far enough ahead where she could carry on pushing, and she managed to get the win off it. Sometimes players, they don't commit that much, or they might go for the third base or something like that. Or was out in the front, go for some production. No, she went for the throat of MMA there, and yeah, she got the win. So well played.
Indeed, very well played.
Ooh.
And I would like to point out that a big hero of that game was that fourth base of Scarlett that got up completely uncontested. MMA not really choosing to deal with it in any way. Not even a single group of Marines heading down there.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised about that. Fair enough, it's one of those things because the fourth base is down there, and did you see the image that TLO tweeted of that map with the heat, the hotspots of deaths?
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, on habitation stage, it pretty much goes across the center because you do have to be careful.
That's where the fights are.
Yeah, it's pretty much just straight across. They always fight there, and it does put him into a situation because if he goes, moves all of his army all the way down to go for that fourth. The center part is open, counterattacks are more viable for her, and stuff like that. So it could, it's one of those things. It's a dicey situation. #dicey.
All right, you have been promoted to lobby host, so
yes.
we are waiting on your word, Captain.
So we need the players. And yeah, I was personally before that engagement happened, I thought that MMA was ahead and he was playing really well.
He was. He had what was pretty much a really good contain. He had Scarlett almost exactly where he wanted her, but he just got completely caught out on that timing when his tanks were unsieged and didn't really punish Scarlett getting her economy back into the game. Those mutas just completely had him scared, basically, because he couldn't really maneuver around without risking some of his tanks being picked off.
And also the fact that who mutas were there was two of them, and he was moving out with a massive unit, pack of units, and out of nowhere she gets 20 and. Yeah. She never engaged with them. She never done any harassment. She didn't. Well, she
they literally just flew around the top of the map for a bit.
They were pretty much
waited
sightseeing.
For a yeah.
It was sightseeing. But here we are, jumping into game number 2. If you do the introductions, please.
I would love to do the introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the Pink Zerg, playing for Team Acer and 1-0 up in this series, we have Scarlett. And spawning in the top left-hand corner as the Red Terran, playing for Team Acer and needing to win 2 games to bring himself back, it is MMA.
Yep, and the map is Altruism Stronghold, a 4-player map, a map that's pretty interesting, pretty funky. I'm personally not a big fan of it.
It takes a brave man to 2 racks on this map.
Yeah, it really does, and of course you pretty much have to aim for the center there. But that's one of the things as well, if you built them in the center and built a chunk of Marines instead of moving out with 1 or 2, you could probably do it, because it's a tiny ramp towards the thing here. You could get into nice position.
If you control the ramp, you can do it. But it's such a big map.
Exactly. It's kind of one of those things. Everything has to go right for you for that to really work out well.
Your opponent has to expand first. You have to get there at the right time. There's so many things that can go wrong.
Absolutely. Now, he is going for a racks first, so he's not going for a command center first, which is normally what you would expect on such a big play map. Get that macro advantage. But he is going to go for a Reaper opening, which is pretty good on this map. It's very large. The natural in the back, or the third base, whatever you want to call it. You can easily get up there and get a couple of worker kills maybe, especially if they transfer as well. You can get that's normally where you always see the most kills is when they're transferring.
Indeed, but the fact that the Reaper is so fast ridiculously helps as well. It just helps you get across the map and get back if your opponent does decide, screw this Reaper, I'm going to send some Zerglings to your base.
He hasn't scouted though, so the Reaper's going to get there pretty late. Obviously, they are cross positions, so he's going to either go top right, and then down here, or bottom left, and then here. So it is going to be the second base, but there's the SCV. Okay, so he does send that. But that's it takes so long to get across this map. The SCV will just about get to the top right base. Indeed. So there's the hatchery first, followed by the pool. No gas GS yet, and Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to have Limblin Muda coming out of Scarlett. MMA is probably going to go for the most standard Terran build in this matchup, which is going to be, of course, Command Center next, followed by a Reactor Factory, into either another Command Center or 2 Raxes, and then, of course, you have that little hit squad with the Reapers and the Hellions, and you can mix it up from that point on.
Indeed. Basically, Workageddon is what MMA will be aiming for.
Workageddon?
Workageddon, kill the workers.
Okay, I like that. All right, so there's the natural finished up. There's the reactor, and of course we will see that factory in a moment. When he gets the gas.
Indeed, so not a Reaper. He's in fact going for just Marines, so probably going to be trying to secure his own expansion.
Yeah, well, we have one Reaper just run around, so he knows exactly where she is now. As the SCV comes up here, the Reaper comes up here, and obviously through process of elimination, he knows where she is. And yeah, now. This is a very standard build. We know exactly what happens. He's going to go up to around 6 Hellions, get 2 Reapers, and just try and kill Zerglings. Once again, with this type of composition, it's not going to be that easy to get up the ramp. It's later in the game now. Spinecrawlers, Queens will be waiting, but the Reaper will get a bit of information here.
Indeed, but does have to dance back. Was MMA able to see the gas there? Was able to see one of the gas, so we'll know that there is at least not 2 gas going on.
Definitely, but there we are. Scarlett goes for 1, and decent timing here for just to go for the 1 there. And she is adding on the Queens. There's the 3rd command center. So MMA is going to go for the macro-oriented style here. And how many Reapers is that? 2 or 3? 2. Okay, because I know 3 is becoming a little bit more popular.
Indeed, 3 is indeed the magic number.
And that Reaper nearly getting picked off there. I love Scarlett's reaction. She's got the Overlords in great position, so she knows where the Reaper is coming. And now, of course, she's positioning the Queens to intercept him and deal that damage, so forcing him to pretty much run away. There's gas number 2. So, not too intense here in her gas income. She's kind of chilling. She wants those extra drones. And the 3rd base will be taken very soon, as we can see here. The Queens going to take a little bit of damage.
Oh, that Reaper does, in fact, block the expansion. Expansion will now go down. Reapers both low, but something Reapers apparently share with the Zerg. They will have that health regen and to be able to keep going quite a lot longer. Queens are indeed so slow. We have 2 of possibly some of the fastest units in the game versus the slowest. Oh, that's almost got out of position there, but that Queen, as you said, too slow.
Absolutely, and those I was a bit scared then that the Reapers might actually... wait, is that... Oh, no. We have Blue Flame Hellion build incoming.
Indeed, Hellions and Reapers are now on the field and are going to do the slowest building kill of all time.
Absolutely. Too bad there's not a couple buildings lined up for the splash, but there's the Blue Flamed. Now, Blue Flame Hellions... Like this is a secret strategy here, guys. He's relying on the fact that Scarlett doesn't have the necessary static defense to stop these Hellions. He's going to go up to about 14 to 16. That's normally the key number. He's pumping them out at 3 at a time, and of course his goal is, as you said, what was it? Work a garden.
Work again.
Work again.
Work a garden.
Yeah,
I like work a garden.
I know. And like they can absolutely fry the mineral line so quickly.
Indeed, it does let the expansion go up, so we may actually see some transfusers if that gets any lower. But if Scarlett does transfer to this, it's going to be incredibly risky, but we will almost definitely see at least 1 Spinecrawler go down here.
And she's actually not injecting either. She's got 5 Queens, they're all out here. She hasn't... Oh, has she seen this? Oh, yeah, she has. Oh, actually, she does. So, yeah, she's anticipating this. This is actually... It might not work out so well. She is also getting her double upgrades with the melee, so she's going to more than likely go into that Limblin Mirror. And there's a Roach Warren as a safety blanket, pretty much. She's going to build...
Roach is quite good against Reapers.
Yeah, and Hellions as well. Especially the Blue Flames. Like, fair enough if there are enough Blue Flame Hellions that can kill...
Eventually enough Blue Flame Hellions will kill almost everything. But...
Oh!
Hellions almost caught out there, but now... They are trapped in between Queens and Spinecrawlers. Nice Zergling block at the top of the map, but unfortunately, Hellions kind of roast stuff. They are now in the main base and are heading straight for the natural expansion straight past the Queen, and oh dear. Welcome to the barbecue. Everyone is invited and workers are going down. The barbecue is being held in the worker garden, but there's so many Queens now. These Hellions will go down, so will the Reapers. And let's have a look here. We have 31 units lost for Scarlett here, and hang on, let me bring 16. It up. 17 workers killed. That is quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Let's have a look. So we're at 52 v 56. So with that, she's just a little bit behind. Of course, you know, the Zergs do have the macro mechanics, so they can just rebuild them pretty fast. Behind that, of course, MMA has secured his third base. So he's doing really good. His macro, obviously, is going to start to kick in very soon, as we can see buildings flying around. And he is going to go up to Widowmine tank as well. There's a reactor being built there. Was that for... no, that's for the starport, maybe.
This might be for the starport. It may be for just some more Hellion. For some more Widowmines.
Just more Hellions. He's got the blue flame as well.
Yeah.
Or actually, maybe just Hellbats instead. But of course, you know, they're not too great against roaches. So there's the Spire as well. Upgrades for MMA. He's getting his 1-1. The 2-2 has not started yet for Scarlett. So there it is now as well. So she's getting her upgrades. She's continuing. She's not going to fall behind there. I like it. And there's the Bane on this. A little bit delayed, but hopefully should be out in time to deal with the big attack.
Indeed, but there are now more Hellions on the way. But there are now roaches to try and catch them out. But the Hellions have found this base. They set it a little bit on fire. Roach is going to try and move in to catch them out of position, but Hellions dancing back, not letting any shots go down.
Yeah, I doubt Scarlett will make any more than this. We do have 12 roaches, unless she wants to do some sort of timing, but she's not really getting the upgrades for the roaches either, so they're not really going to be that strong. Of course, you know, roach upgrades really do help, because they do get that +2. Now, she has started to finally get her creep going. Of course, the Hellions do kind of deny that, especially when they're blue flames. So here comes the attack, though. We do have, how many Marines? 12 Marines there, a few extras straggling across. There's the Medivacs. So he could maybe drop in towards the natural or something like that and do some damage.
Indeed. Hellions engaging into roaches there. Not much really going to happen to either side there, as the Hellions are able to dance back. And the roaches are now all good, because they will just regen.
Yeah, and there's overseas flying. Is it going to get picked off? No, it does just about survive. Now, this isn't really that scary of a force, in my opinion, from MMA, but the fact that he can pick up and fly towards that natural, forcing Scarlett out of position, is very, very powerful. But you will get this fourth base, maybe.
Indeed, may get the fourth base and is moving in. There are queens heading up. There are also mutas heading up, but does not want to use them. And here we go. Roach is also moving in, and those Medivacs will have to get out there. They will be chased by mutas, but if those Marines drop off, we could see a couple of mutas go down. Nope, is able to once again dance them back, and not too many casualties for either team there.
Turns around. No, he's undecided there. Okay, he does realize that the units were headed back, so maybe doesn't want to lose the Hellions, which is something you don't want to do. He didn't really get any creep there, which he could have as well. How many command centers does he have? Alright, he has his 4th one in production, so he is looking to continue macroing. Obviously nearly getting picked off there.
Indeed, there is also a 4 in production. Is there a 4 already out in the field? Nope, the first 4 is in production, as well as 3 middle mines already on the field. So we're going to see the anti-muta squad will be out quite soon.
Yeah, no, this is the timing where it looks very
god,
scary.
borrow the widow mines. This could go badly. Widow mines are gone. Tanks are unsieged. It's moving forward, but there's not that many Bailings left. Nice split there. And it's now roaches versus Marines, and we know how that goes. MMA does hold. But that was not a pretty fight.
No, absolutely not. He could have been sieged there, and he is getting a gas geyser off at the 4th base. Not the biggest pick, but it does help. Of course, gas income is a huge deal for Scarlett right now, and she does have a 5th base as well. So, there's the 8th. Oh, no, the 7th gas guys again picked off. So, her gas income is again limited by this. She has to take the other ones, but she hasn't saturated them just yet. I like MMA. He's just like chilling. He's macroing up. He's just sending swarms of armies across the map, and he is going to start to take his 4th very soon.
Indeed, the war of attrition is currently what MMA is doing, just taking out little buildings.
Jesus, it's 91 workers for Scarlett.
That is a lot of workers, considering how many she lost early game. Overcompensating much, maybe.
Definitely. Of course, Zergs do kind of want a couple extras because they need them for the buildings and stuff like that. Oh, a Widowmine does get some damage done. The
Not that much, though. It means Marines have no support here, having to retreat, but there's nothing back there for them. And now go the Medivacs as well. The Marines have made it to the rest of the army, and Scarlett will now pull back. Doesn't really lose any mutas there, which are the important part of this army. And MMA, wanting to pick off the Banelings, does get 1. So very nice there, but the stim will run out soon. Does stim again, wants to get something, but here we go, here's the engagement. But so much that army is grouped. Banelings are going off. Nice splits there. There's no tanks or anything. There is one Marauder in the back doing quite a lot of damage, and the 4 doing so much. The mutas weren't even involved in that, not wanting to even go near the 4. but so many Marines are on the field now. It is currently 53 Marines and 4 Marauders versus what is now 9 Banelings.
The Banelings are morphing. They get picked off as they're morphing. Zerglings do run in, and some Banelings finish up, get some great connections, and do clean up the Marines. But there's not... Oh, no, there's just like enough medevacs here to keep them alive against the Mutas. The Banelings... Oh, wow, nice
those
splits.
But there's some Zerglings in there to kill off them as they split. And we see a 4 in the medevac, and it's trying to do the damage here. It is still alive. That 4 has been tanking so many hits and been getting some good shots off against the Mutalisks. The current Muta count is only 8.
Absolutely. That was a lot of damage dealt there to both the armies. They're actually nearly spot on supply with one difference apart, but the worker difference makes the army supply massively in MMA's favor.
Indeed, MMA doing really good here, getting so much harassment down, and is still continuing to build up his army. He is ahead in supply, and Scarlett looks like she's going to try and pick off some reinforcing units here and then go for a counter-attack. MMA is currently dying to spike crawlers, but here we go. We could see a sandwich here. Muta's taking a couple shots here, but here's the engagement. Going to catch the 4 out of position. There is one more 4 left. Muta's taking so much damage, getting killed off, but now MMA having to dance back away from the Banelings. The second 4 does go down, and there's not that many Marines left. Everything is down. And there's not that many Mutas left either to chase down the few remaining medevacs. But that was very nice there by Scarlett. She could bring this back. She is now 30 supply ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like for quite the first time in quite a while. So that was a great engagement for her. That went really well. She isolated the first Thor. She went after the Marines. A couple of Zerglings went after that Thor, or the last Thor, and she cleaned it up really, really well. I didn't expect that to go so well, especially since MMA was, in my opinion, ahead, and she had a smaller army supply. So just showing like an absolutely great engagement there. It is 2-2 v soon to be 3-3. So she does have a bit of or MMA has a timing window soon enough, and he can start to abuse this. Because, of course, 3-3 Marines against Banelings and stuff like that, Indeed. It doesn't go well.
He is producing 10 Marines at a time, also with some Hellbats to help try and tank some of these shots, and still building 4s. Still no tanks, though, choosing to forgo them in favour of these 4s to try and deal with the Mutalisks. These Marines getting a lot of damage, killing off some more workers here. Mutas coming in to deal with these. Does lose a Muta. Not great there. Picks up as well and gets out of there with only 1 Marine done. The Mutas are going to try and chase. But it looks like MMA may escape here. Oh, no, that medevac is dead.
And MMA not really... Well, I guess he capitalized on it a little bit there, forcing Scarlett to react to that drop. He run down here, cleaned up some creep. Could have got really solid position there between the the 5th and the 4th, and pretty much kind of soft contains her in a sense into like this area around by here, and he can easily shoot off then to attack the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th. But we do have the ultras. There's been a lot of aggression and stuff going on the map, so we have missed a lot of the tech. The Chitinous Plate in, Pathogen Glands, 3-3 has finally started for Scarlett, but it has finished for the Terran, and here comes an engagement.
That 4 not in a good position here. Marines are very bunched up. We're seeing the Hellbat getting some damage done. The 4 is being ignored, doing a bit of damage to the Mutas, but now, nice splits here. Able to survive most of it, but there's so many Zerglings right now. There is still 1 4 left, but the Overseers are tanking it. Marines are going down. Mutalisks stand tall, and the 4 has been picked up.
And in the meantime, the 4th base, or the 5th base, whatever you want to call it, is taking some damage. The units are forced back here. This base does get spotted, and the units get lifted up, and the ultras do get spotted, so he knows that these are coming. He's going to start building some more Marauders. He's adding in some Widow Mines. This is going to be good against the obviously the units that stack, and of course the Mutalisks
good
themselves.
Against the everything at
Pretty
this
much.
point, except the ultras.
Yeah, unless you have a lot of them.
Indeed. But looks like this Marine is going to be able to kill off this Zergling and continue doing damage to this base. This value Marine right here, if it's able to get the base.
It actually could.
There are now Zerglings heading there to end its life very violently.
This is like one of those A-move thins, one army, one hotkey syndrome thing. Another medevac drop is flying towards the bottom of the map. There is a Widow Mine with this one as well. So if he burrows that and Scarlett doesn't really react, it could just get a couple of kills over time.
Indeed, and the nearest Overseer is actually quite a bit away from that, so won't be able to spot that for quite a while. There are Ravens on the way.
Ooh, nice. This is again very late game, and of course they're probably going to be used more for what you call it, hunter-seeker missiles, which are a lot more powerful these days in comparison. But here we have another engagement. The army's not attacking in the hole.
It was a move. It was an A-move command there. Nice micro there from MMA. Another 4 does bite the dust. So many Ultralisks right now. More Marines being picked up. So many units are just being picked up. But the Planetary Fortress is, I believe the technical term is kind of screwed.
Just a little bit. But these units, they don't really have much to escape, and there are a couple of units that's going to try and catch them off.
That's not going to be enough to deal with this many Ultralisks. MMA, a bit of a fruitless attempt. Trying to draw it into the Widowmine, though. But it's not going to happen. And the Mule desperately trying to get its load back to a command center.
Alright, so MMA does go to reestablish that base. It is going to be an orbital, so it's not going to have its, well, it's not going to be able to defend itself. And there's the +3 flyer attack, which is actually quite a scary upgrade, to be honest with you. We do have some static defense being added on at the bottom base now. So, you know, drops and stuff shouldn't be able to force her out of position and stuff like that.
Indeed, MMA is once again beginning to group up a lot more Marauders finally in this force. Going to try and help deal with these Ultras. Here come the Ravens. Here come the Hunter Seekers. Marauders microing backwards. So many Hunter Seekers here, not doing that much damage. And we're having to see the micro here. Oh my god, the fungal on all of the medevacs. There's the GG. And MMA takes it 2-0. Wait, no, Scarlett takes it 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're both aces, so it's easy to slip up there. And once again, I wasn't expecting that, because if you look at that game, MMA had an amazing supply advantage, and at the same time, Scarlett had an amazing army, drone advantage. So her army supply was tiny in comparison, and that one engagement, the Thor was forward. She managed to pick that off. Everything run backwards, left the other Thor by itself.
There were so many picked off fours in that, and just quite a lot of times we did see fights where the fours ended up focus firing, well, pretty much against overseers instead of mutas. So the mutas were able to clear up so much.
That was really well played by Scarlett. I'm really impressed that she was down like 40 supply and like up by 30 workers and still had a really good trade against quite a scary army. But Limbly Muta against Thor Bio. So yeah, it doesn't really happen very often. So there you do have it, guys. Scarlett does win this game, and of course, is in a favorable position to, of course, take that lead now.